Hello there, my dear friends. Welcome to Your Menopause Your Way. This is where I present absolutely everything you need to know in order to manage your menopause your way. And I do so in an unbiased manner, just giving you all the facts so that you'll be successful regardless of how you choose to manage your menopause. I organize all my videos by topic, and I cover the information one unit at a time. This is part of our unit on osteoporosis. It's video number 217 in the education on menopause in general. And the osteoporosis unit began with video 196. We're pursuing the part of this education on osteoporosis that addresses your options for preventing osteoporosis. And today's video is the first of 4 on your vitamin and mineral options. In my book, both editions, the first and the second, you'll find this material in chapter 29 in the section entitled Vitamin and Mineral Options. Now, you know me. My goal is to give you a complete education. And it bothers me that you tend to hear only a sound bite or two about things that warrant much more knowledge than that. So if you already know which vitamins and minerals prevent osteoporosis, you should be able to answer this quiz question. And if you answer it incorrectly, you definitely need to watch this video. So here's the question. Which of the following vitamins and minerals are beneficial in preventing osteoporosis? A, vitamins B6 and B9. B, biotin. C, manganese and copper. D, homocysteine. E, silicon, zinc, and vitamin K. F, vitamin E. G, A, C, and E above. H, B, D, and F above. I, all of the above. And J, none of the above. You see, I'll bet you thought calcium and vitamin D were the only ones of importance for preventing osteoporosis, but they're not even on the list. So do you think that any of these others benefit your bones? And if you think there are vitamins, minerals, and supplements other than calcium and vitamin D that are beneficial, which ones are they? So here's the quiz question again with the answer in bold. So now you know that you have more options than just calcium and vitamin D for preventing osteoporosis. And what I'll do in this particular video is address all these other things that are beneficial in addition to calcium and vitamin D. Now the next video will address only calcium, and the one after that will address only vitamin D, because there is much more to each of those than anyone's ever told you to. So I'll go through the other vitamins and minerals and supplements, and I'll tell you how each of them contributes to your bone health. You'll see that your smorgasbord of options in this category is quite vast. Now, the last video addressed dietary sources of some vitamins and minerals. This video is addressing the actual vitamins and minerals themselves. Now, for most people, that means vitamins and minerals that are isolated in a bottle. And as a foundation to this discussion, let me just give you a few principles about bottled vitamins and minerals. Principle number 1 is that despite the popularity of taking vitamins and minerals out of a bottle, you will never get the same benefit from a vitamin or mineral that comes out of a bottle as you will from that same vitamin or mineral in a food. Vitamins and minerals that are in a bottle are isolated. Now the word isolated is the opposite of the word combined. So the next thing you need to know is what the word combined means. Combined vitamins and minerals are what you get from food. So what are they combined with? Well, they're combined with each other and a lot of additional important things. Combined vitamins and minerals are mingled with fiber and all sorts of other nutrients in the food. And your body just loves them that way. It uses them so efficiently precisely because they are combined with these other things. And the overall benefit to you is enormous. But when you take a single vitamin or mineral and isolate it, that's a whole different story. Your body doesn't quite know what to make of it. And it certainly doesn't metabolize it the same way it metabolizes vitamins and minerals in combination. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that the solution is to just take a whole lot of vitamins and minerals all at the same time. Well, my dear, that does not solve the problem. The problem is the absence of the food product and all that the food product brings with it. You cannot solve it by popping a whole bunch of different vitamins and minerals at the same time. The key is to understand this principle of isolation. While taking bottled vitamins and minerals is better than being deficient, it's worse than getting them from your food. But you know, the way food is processed these days, you can't expect to get much from food either. Most foods have had all of their naturally occurring nutrients stripped away during processing. And then they're fortified or enriched with vitamins or minerals. But the vitamins and minerals that are removed in the process of processing are much better than the ones that are added. People flock to foods that have the words enriched or fortified written on them. But if they understood the true meanings of those words, they would probably stay away from those same very foods. So if you eat any processed food at all, you are not getting the original vitamins and minerals no matter what the package says. They can't survive the processing. So you're left with nothing but the added synthetic vitamins and minerals. Okay, principle number 2 is that while these vitamins and minerals are important for your bone health, they are not sufficient in and of themselves to prevent osteoporosis. In other words, without these items, your bones would be inadequate with regard to quantity or quality or both. But even if you took all these items dutifully, they would not be enough all by themselves to prevent osteoporosis. Principle number 3 is that while everybody thinks of vitamins and minerals as natural, the ones you take out of a bottle are more synthetic than just about any product on the market. The vitamins and minerals in natural food are natural. The ones in a bottle are synthetic. Now, not all vitamins and minerals come from plants. But if they did, I would say, if it's manufactured by a plant, eat it. If it's manufactured in a plant, don't. I'm always thinking about things like that. So the 3 overriding principles for all vitamins and minerals that come out of a bottle is that they are isolated, important but not sufficient for preventing osteoporosis, and synthetic. Just add that to everything else you learn so that you have all the facts, and then you will have realistic expectations for the results you get from your menopause management. Okay, now, with that as your foundation, I'm going to delve into these vitamins and minerals that will help prevent osteoporosis. And let's divide them into 2 groups, vitamins and minerals. There are 9 altogether, 4 vitamins and 5 minerals. And you probably thought there were only the 2 most familiar, which are calcium and vitamin D. Do you see why you need to watch these videos? So we'll start with the vitamins. They are vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, vitamin B9, also known as folic acid, vitamin C, and vitamin K. Okay, starting with vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 is important in a variety of ways for your bone. It's odd that people don't think of vitamin B6 when discussing bone or lack thereof with regard to osteoporosis. Vitamin B6 deficiency can result in defective bone formation, impaired growth of cartilage, accelerated osteoporosis, and prolonged fracture healing time. So it has a whole lot to do with bone. If you've been watching my videos, you've heard me talk about homocysteine quite a few times. Do you remember what homocysteine is? Homocysteine is an amino acid that comes from animal products. And if you eat animal products, you probably have a high homocysteine level. In the unit on heart attack, you learned that homocysteine increases your risk of heart attack. Well, guess what? It increases your risk of osteoporosis too. And the reason vitamin 6 can help reduce your risk of osteoporosis is that it reduces your level of homocysteine. Very closely related to vitamin B6 in both name and function is vitamin B9. Vitamin B9 in isolation is called folic acid. It helps prevent osteoporosis by breaking down homocysteine too. Do you remember video 200 on the rate of bone loss at menopause? I told you that you lose a whole lot of bone very rapidly in the very first years of your postmenopause. Well, that happens in part due to high levels of homocysteine. So, vitamin B9 eliminates the high homocysteine levels that contribute to a higher risk of osteoporosis. And there's one very interesting thing about vitamin B9 that is different from any other vitamin. Earlier in this video, I told you that one of the principles of vitamins and minerals was the principle of isolation. I said that isolated vitamins are not as good as vitamins that are combined with other substances in food, right? Well, vitamin B9 is an exception with regard to one specific factor: absorption. You absorb only 50% of the vitamin B9 in natural, unfortified foods. And in that instance, vitamin B9 is called folate. And you absorb 85% of the vitamin B9 in fortified foods. Recall that fortified foods have the original nutrients stripped out and synthetic ones added. But you absorb nearly all of the vitamin B9 in a supplement. And in that instance, vitamin B9 is called folic acid. So this is an exception to the rule that naturally occurring vitamins are better than bottled vitamins. Of course, this only pertains to how much you absorb. And if you eat enough of the foods that contain vitamin B9, you don't have to worry about absorbing all of it. I mean, you're going to get plenty. But if you're a junk food junkie, or you eat the typical highly processed foods of today, you might benefit more from a vitamin B supplement. I just want you to know that tidbit of information about vitamin B9. In earlier videos, I told you that you would see overlap in management options. Some things have benefits for many different aspects of your health in general and your menopause management in particular. These B vitamins are beneficial in reducing your risk of both heart attack and osteoporosis. Even better than these vitamins is a 100% plant-based diet in which you never have elevated homocysteine in the first place, but then you would need to replace these vitamins. I'm all about efficiency. So I want you to know about the things that give you more bang for your buck, as they say. I never understood that until I looked it up. And it turns out that it was a political statement back when bang referred to weaponry. And it really did mean bombs for one's money. But bang for your buck sounds catchier. Okay, now for vitamin C. Vitamin C promotes the structural proteins that form bone, and a deficiency in vitamin C can contribute to osteoporosis. You probably don't automatically think of vitamin C as being important for your bones, but it is. And of course, you can find vitamin C in all sorts of forms. You've got the tablets, and you've got the powders, and there's even chewables. And there's another vitamin you probably don't automatically associate with your bones. It's vitamin K. Vitamin K is actually quite important. Vitamin K is required to draw calcium into your bones for crystal formation. It plays a key role in all of the following processes: bone formation, bone remodeling, and bone repair. These three processes, bone formation, bone remodeling, and bone repair, are going on all the time in your bones. In the very first videos on osteoporosis, I showed you this over and over again. It's a conveyor belt, and I used it to demonstrate the process of bone turnover. Back then, I didn't tell you that vitamin K was an important fuel for that turnover, but now you know it is. Do you see how your knowledge just keeps building one block at a time? It's kind of like bone. Alrighty, now for the minerals. There are 5 minerals, and they are what we call trace minerals. Trace minerals are minerals that your body needs in only very small quantities, usually less than 20 milligrams per day. They are the opposite of major minerals, which your body needs in much higher quantities. The fact that your body needs them in such small quantities is precisely why you most likely didn't know that you needed them at all. You can probably name the major minerals your bones need to prevent osteoporosis. I can hear you yelling calcium and maybe even magnesium at your computer screen. But can you name any of the trace minerals that your bones need? What? I can't hear you. Well, the ones that are important in preventing osteoporosis are manganese, boron, zinc, copper, and silicon. And even though your body only needs them in traces, they are as important as the major minerals. So let's discuss each of these. Manganese is first. Now don't confuse manganese with magnesium. They are completely different. I'll discuss magnesium in the next week's video. I'll be coupling it with calcium because, well, they're a couple, an inseparable couple. Manganese is really, really important for preventing osteoporosis. It does 2 things. It increases calcium deposits in your bone, and it provides the framework for the use of that calcium. So don't overlook manganese. It's the most important of the trace minerals. How often do you hear people mention boron? Well, despite its unfamiliarity, its effects will surprise you. Boron is definitely not boring. Boron acts in 2 separate ways to help prevent osteoporosis. First, it reduces the quantity of calcium and magnesium you excrete in your urine. In other words, it helps keep them in your bone where they belong. Second, it increases your blood levels of both estrogen and testosterone. It acts on your sex hormones. Can you believe that? Very few minerals have a direct effect on your sex hormones. So boron benefits bone big time. And then there's zinc. Now zinc is another trace mineral that does a lot of good things in bone. It forms the cells that build up and break down bone in the process of bone turnover. And it also synthesizes bone proteins. So if you're deficient in zinc, you'll probably be deficient in bone too. Copper is next. Now, it's not as important as any of the other trace minerals we've discussed, but it does inhibit bone loss at this back end, far end of the conveyor belt. And finally, there's silicon. Silicon is involved with calcification of new bone, so it affects the front end of the conveyor belt. This is where it acts. So there you have 9 vitamins and minerals that are very important in preventing osteoporosis, even though nobody talks about them. But your bones don't care whether or not people talk about them. All your bones care about is having access to all of them. So make sure you're either getting them from your food or from a bottle. And food is better than a bottle any day. Now, to place these vitamins and minerals on the T-score scale of bone density to see where they contribute for purposes of management of osteoporosis, there you have it. As you can see, vitamins and minerals fall heavily in the arena of prevention, with only a tiny bit of benefit in the realm of intervention. This is very important because more and more I see bone density test results indicating advanced osteopenia or even frank osteoporosis, but the recommendation by the physician is simply to increase vitamins and minerals, specifically calcium and vitamin D. This is so inadequate. In video 210, I explained why so many women are unaware of the fact they have osteoporosis, and this is one of the reasons. They'll get a bone density test that clearly shows significant osteopenia or osteoporosis. And the only recommendation they'll get from their doctor is to increase calcium and vitamin D. Not a word about any of the other vitamins or trace minerals I presented here today. And even if you took all these vitamins and minerals, you would still not be able to accomplish intervention or fixin' of your osteopenia or osteoporosis. They are suited only for prevention. So don't fall for this. When you get a bone density test, schedule a consultation with me to assess the results. I'll tell you the truth about the limitations of these management options. And I'll help you find solutions that will prevent further bone loss and even replace bone loss. Because if you have significant osteopenia or osteoporosis, all the vitamins and minerals in the world will not make a big enough difference to avoid further bone loss. And they certainly aren't capable of replacing lost bone. Do you see how putting these management options on that T-scale helps to understand the limitations of each one? That is the goal. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I will continue to do with all of these management options. So that's it for today. Next week, I will talk exclusively about calcium and magnesium, and I'll give you more information than you expect. You can schedule a consultation at Menopause Taylor anytime for anything, and you can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I will see you in a week. Bye.